Are you ready to turn this into something that looks like it belongs in a home decor magazine? Now, if you want to get a little crafty, this is a fun idea. I found this really cute small Christmas basket at the thrift store recently, and after removing the handle, flip it right over and you can use a hole saw attachment to cut a round hole right into the base of the basket. And now I have an adorable, functional tissue holder that can blend right in with my holiday decor. And then there's this really pretty white thrifted vase. Simple, modern, and perfect for this tissue trick. For something with a little more personality, check out this vintage tin idea. Next, I shopped my own house and found this tall brown ceramic planter. From vases to planterns to vintage tins and baskets, these are some simple swaps that make your home feel more polished without spending a ton.
Start by getting some marbles and some self-adhesive wall tiles from the dollar store. Remove tissues from a tissue box and cut an opening in the bottom of the box. Use some scrap cardboard to fit inside the box as reinforcement. And adhere inside all of the sides of the box, including under the top. Cut off the flap of the tissue box and paint all of the sides of the box in black. Then cut some sections of the self-adhesive tile to use later. Adhere marbles to the top of the box. Keep adding marbles until the top is covered and the top of the sides. Then paint all of the marbles with black paint. Cut and adhere the sections of the adhesive tile to the front of the box. Then make sure to adhere the tiles to the rest of the sides. Insert your tissues, and now you have a stylish and upgraded Kleenex box. I hope this inspires you to create your own to add to your decor.
So today I'm going to show you how to take this very simple little wooden tissue box that I found on Amazon and how to turn it into an adorable project for your own home. I'm going to be using mainly our Americana craft acrylics that you can also find online, and the color that is called French Vanilla. So once I put my first coat on, I'm going to have to come back and sand, okay? So I'm going to do 100% coverage and just paint this on, and I'm painting with the grain of the wood. So I'm trying to keep all my brush strokes going in the same direction that the grain is going, and normally I'll cause less brush stroke from doing that. So I'm also going to paint this little inside area that the tissue is going to come out of so that it's all base coated, and then just come back and smooth out my brush strokes. We're just going to allow this to sit and dry. Maybe break out a blow dryer to speed it up, lightly sand it, and apply our second coat. Time to have some real fun now. So we are going to be using one of my stencil designs called Rosy Posy. And as you can see, this particular stencil is cut on a curve, so it's got a strange shape to it. But these stencils were actually created to be used on flower pots. But they make great stencils for a lot of different surfaces. I always try to line up the design, okay, putting overlay number 1 underneath. They are marked, okay, and overlay number 2 on top. That way you can see the complete design and know where all the elements are going to end up. But once you have that positioned, you can leave your overlay number 1 down and remove number 2. And then I'm just going to grab some tape and tape it into position. And I'm going to take a few seconds and I'm going to work that paint in. And then I'm going to go to a paper towel. And I'm going to do what seems ridiculous and go shake almost all the paint off. And then that same circular motion that I was loading the brush with, I'm going to use that motion going around the outside of the opening, bringing the color to the center so I can get a little bit of shading. And I'm just going to kind of play with the colors and kind of go back and forth with the 2 different colors on here because I want to use Peony Pink and Laguna. So this is a really pretty teal turquoise color that goes well with the Peony Pink. Okay, another little trick, you guys. So when you're changing brushes back and forth, when you're doing the art of stenciling, I have a paper towel in here that's just damp with a little bit of water and inside a Ziploc bag so your brushes don't dry out when you are changing colors and going from brush to brush. We have the beginning of our flowers, which are cute as can be. I'm going to go back to overlay number 2 now. And there are what are called registration marks. You can see a little circle underneath my pinky there. And they'll help you line up from repeat to or overlay to overlay. But my surface is smaller than the stencil, I'm able to see through the stencil and just line things up, okay? So basically, I'm just gonna come over, just stencil in the opening, okay? I'm not worrying about any shading this time. And now I'm gonna pick up what's called evergreen and do a little shading on the leaves. So I've always had fun coming back and embellishing that way. And look at that. This is gonna be so cute. So I do have open space that I don't wanna just leave open. So I'm going to line my overlays back up together. Okay, I'm gonna continue stenciling around our box, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how to do some fun embellishing by freehand, okay? I'm gonna now put out some black and some white, and I'm gonna put out a little bit more of these because I want like a puddle of paint as I show you this technique. And I'm picking it up with what's called an embossing tool. An embossing tool has these little balls on the end, and I'm using the larger size, and it just allows you to create a raised dot. So you can put some dots into the centers, and I'm using white. You could pick up any color if you want to put another splash of color in here. And I want to always make sure I got plenty of paint on my embossing tool when I do this so that it makes a nice round circle. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to put a couple of little dots around the flowers. And I think I'm going to go back to the white now. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the dots all over the background, okay? So we'll have to let that dry for probably a couple hours. And then the last thing that we're going to do is just come back and put a top coat on it to seal it and protect everything. And we'll be ready to show you where it ends up in its new home. So we'll be back in a few minutes. So here is the finished tissue box holder.
We're going to get started by painting, and the quart jars that I picked out actually have nothing, no writing or raised parts on them, which I really like. So I'm using multi-surface paint from Deco Art. The paint that you pick is very important because you want something that is going to stick to glossy surfaces or is formulated for glass. This can not only stick to glass, but ceramic and metal as well. So this is the right paint for the job. You can see that I'm applying on the inside, and I'm using a fan brush. A fan brush is an artist brush. It's like a painter's brush, and you could really use anything that fits inside your jar, but I just like this one because it makes pretty quick work. While we're waiting for that paint to dry, I can start working on the labels, and I have a cool trick to show you guys. If you print out on a regular inkjet printer some phrases that you want to label these with, I made mine the width of packaging tape, so I didn't want to make it wider than packaging tape, but we're just going to cut these out. And if you had like a fancy cutting machine, like a die cut machine, this would be all the easier. You could just put this on sticker paper or do this same hack, but have your die cut machine do the cutting for you. We're going to carefully cut out all of these letters, and then we are going to put them on the packaging tape, and that will make it look like they're just printed right on the mason jar. That's why I painted on the inside of the jar instead of on the outside, because I didn't want the packaging tape label to take off any of the paint. All right, now I have these totally opaque after a couple coats of paint, and if you need to expedite the drying process, you can always use a blow dryer on low setting. I'm going to be taking this packaging tape, and I just got like the clearest one I could find, and we're going to rip a piece that's big enough to lay down our cutout letters to create a label. So I'm going to lay out my letters the way they all fit, and the spacing looks nice. Make sure your packaging tape doesn't have anything it's going to accidentally pick up, like fuzz or debris. And then we're going to lay this down. And I usually flip mine over just to get everything adjusted. Okay, there we go. Now it's perfect. We're just going to kind of press any areas that might not have adhered. And then we're going to lay down our jar, line up where we want the label to go, get it straight, and then carefully press down, pulling hard. And I like to grab like a gift card or credit card and press this down to get all the bubbles out. So cute. Okay, so I have this piece of thin cardboard from a cereal box, and this is going to be the part where I trace the lid to create like the dispenser aspect. You need to use a material that is stiff enough to hold its shape, but is flexible enough to actually dispense the tissues. So thin cardboard works well, and what also works well is felt. So I'm going to cut this out now, and then this is going to be the size that goes inside the ring. Now in the center, you poke a hole and cut an X shape, just like that. And if you wanted to decorate this as well, you could. I'm fine with mine being plain. Now pop that inside the lid. And there you go, it will dispense. All right, the last step is to just fill our jars. So I'm going to take these Kleenex out of the box. We're gonna keep them in their like lineup. All right, and then I pulled out the middle one. This looks a little messy. For the wipes, I'm gonna take just some disinfectant wipes.